are so many conditions that people take prednisone for, and most of them are really unique. Maybe you've never even heard of them before. Today, I have the amazing opportunity to interview somebody who's taking prednisone for Pemphigus Vulgaris. Have you heard of it? If you have, let me know below. And so here we have Jeremy, who has Pemphigus Vulgaris. Can you say hi, Jeremy?
Hi.
Hello. So prednisone has been your sidekick for the last at least year. I'd love to hear, what is your prednisone story?
Okay, so my prednisone story started in September of 2020. There were lesions coming out in the mouth, and I had a difficult time trying to find a doctor who would actually deal with that kind of information, because going to the emergency department, they didn't know. And then I found out from my doctor that you need an oral pathologist to deal with that. And I was lucky enough to get an oral pathologist. And since October of the 3rd of 2020, I've been taking, I started off with 8 milligrams of prednisone. Well, not 8 milligrams, 8 tablets. So that's like 50 milligrams. And then it tapered to 6, 5, 4, and then now I'm on 2. I did stop it on the 22nd of June of 2021, but the lesions came back. So I had to speak to the doctor and get put on the prednisone again on the 20th of July. So it takes about a month for it to run through the body if it's not seeing prednisone there. So it's active constantly. I was told that there is a drug you can get in Canada and probably the States too. It's $15,000 a tablet. So you need two set tablets, it's 30 grand. However, I don't qualify because they say they don't see any antibodies in the blood test. So if there are no antibodies in the blood test, you don't qualify for that. However, I think it's probably best that I try something else, because on reading the literature, it does give you leukemia. So, so you can't really, I mean, it's not one of those things you want to fight with, because you're going to get no Pemphigus Vulgaris, but you might end up with cancer.
Isn't that how it is with taking prednisone and these other medications? It's like, which one's worse, the treatment or the disease?
Right. So my pathologist basically said that it is probably, she knows that it's tough to be on prednisone. And so you need to speak to your skin doctor to get some alternatives. So I'm having a conversation with him on the 25th, and he might have some other alternatives which are not as bad as the one that was being suggested. And my wife wouldn't want me to go on that one either anyway. So that's a non-starter. That's not happening.
Oh, yeah, that's my goodness. Oh, so you've been on as many as 8 tablets. Were those 5 milligram or 10 milligram? 5 milligram. So you had like 40 milligrams.
40 milligrams. Yeah, to
and
start off.
All the way down.
All the way down to about 2, yeah. Today I have to take 4 because the doctor wants me to take 4 today because of the operation.
Okay, so I want to get back to your operation in a minute, but I think people are probably wondering, what exactly is Pemphigus vulgaris?
It is basically a disease that attacks, it can attack your skin, which it didn't in my case. It attacks the lesions, it attacks the membranes in the mouth. So it creates lesions, and these lesions can be very hurtful, bleeding, and you have to use not only the prednisone, but you have to use a magic mouthwash to get rid of some of those lesions. So there are 2 things I have to do. I have to use a magic mouthwash, which I get from the pharmacy, which is a pharmacy that makes certain compounds,
Mhm.
not just a regular pharmacy. And then you take the prednisone as well.
Wow.
There's also a cream that you can apply to the mouth if you have been taken off of the prednisone, but that did not do the job as properly as she wanted to take it away from the systematic and go to just the topical. But the topical doesn't work as well as the systematic.
Yeah.
So I can use topicals as well. I mean, if I have lesions, but lesions go away as you take your mouthwash and so on. So right now, I am sitting at 2 prednisones a day with the mouthwash, which keeps it at bay.
Gotcha. So for people who are like, what is this magic mouthwash? Usually when a pharmacy makes it, they take several different bottles of liquid medications and then they mix them together and put them all in one bottle. And so there's
Right.
often things like lidocaine to help numb it, like to dull the pain, and things like Maalox to kind of coat the area. There might be Benadryl or something like that to turn down inflammation. There might be a steroid in it. The magic mouthwashes are all different depending on the doctor. But
I just call it magic mouthwash because it's a mixture of stuff. So it's difficult to. Do you want to know what's in the magic mouthwash?
Oh, I mean, if you want to share, that's great.
I can tell you, no problem.
Awesome. So as far as magic mouthwashes go, they're helpful for people who have lesions in their mouth, sometimes in the back of their throat. That's where people need it too.
So it's basically Benadryl, nystatin, and distilled water.
Benadryl, nystatin, and distilled water.
Distilled water.
Okay, so the nystatin is to help with preventing the fungal infections, to turn down inflammation. That's probably tricky because prednisone itself can increase your risk for fungal infections in your mouth, right?
Right. So that it works well. You have to do it at least 3 times a day.
3 times
and you
a
have
day.
to be religious about it, otherwise you get, So that's basically what I'm going through right now. So
yeah. And I can't imagine, like, I've had kinkers and they've been incredibly painful and they're just little lesions, right? And they don't usually bleed. So I can't imagine how painful and uncomfortable it must be for you. How do you, when you have such an awful lesion, how do you eat? How do you do things like that?
Well, well, when it was bad in September of 2020, it was difficult to eat. So, basically you go on liquids, right? And then after the initial doses of prednisone, then I was able to eat. But my mouth was inflamed and bleeding a lot. And the problem was trying to find a doctor who knew what was wrong.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital and they didn't even have a clue. Is a periodontist who actually who said, this is above my pay grade and you need to see this doctor right away. There was a periodontist who was able to, because my dentist didn't even know what was happening. He just gave me, he said, take some Tylenol, but I think he was a little out of his depth. But the periodontist knew exactly that that's something he could handle. Sent me to the oral pathologist and I got in quickly. And that was basically the start of healing.
Gotcha. So
it's important to find the right doctor.
Yeah, so finding the right doctor is so critical. That's some great advice.
Yes.
So how long would you say before you had relief?
About 2
starting
weeks.
the prednisone.
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. It abated.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a while.
So if other people are having these similar symptoms, they can know that it might be about 2 weeks until you feel that.
You feel better, yeah.
The relief in your mouth.
Yeah, you have to drink a lot of Ensure.
I'll bet.
Yeah, well, you have to, because you can't chew. It's difficult to chew stuff, so you can't eat. So Ensure was a mainstay for a while, and then after that, it's,
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. So would you say that your dose of prednisone is typical for other people with pemphigus vulgaris, or do you think the doctors might just make it special for every single person?
Well, depending on the severity of the lesions in your mouth, the doctor will make a determination about that. But in order for her to know exactly that it was pemphigus, she had to take a biopsy of the, she had to cut out a piece of my cheek to get the biopsy to go down to the university. Because she works in the university as well. So she sent it down there. She knew what it was, but she had to get a confirmed biopsy.
That makes sense.
And she got that, and that was it.
Gotcha.
So she knew exactly, it confirmed her theory about what it was.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that there might be some alternative medications for your condition, but you're not happy to run those risks. Is that right?
No, I don't qualify for it, so it's not. I'm not thinking about it anymore. It was suggested to me, but now after speaking to the skin specialist, he said you don't qualify because you have to have the antibodies, and the antibodies are not there anymore. But it's like having cancer and being in remission. So he says you still have it.
Yeah.
You might be in remission, but you still have it.
Yeah.
That's how
for
it's
now.
Yeah.
When you're in remission, they won't let you have that
They
medication.
won't let me. No, they won't give you that. No.
Gotcha.
No, that is. It's not. You won't qualify for the discount because I can qualify for a discount, right? The 30 grand. You can qualify for it, right? I mean, otherwise, who's going to pay 30 grand? Not me.
Who can afford 30 grand?
Yeah. You know. So no, I'm not going there.
No, don't go there.
He just mentioned it as, you know, he said, this is what you need. You need 2 of these or whatever it is.
Yeah.
2 of these sessions, but I wouldn't qualify for it. Plus, I'm happy that I don't qualify for it because I don't want to take up something worse onto something. At least how I look at it anyway.
But I mean, that's always what it is, right? It's always, okay, the benefits for me would be this and the risks are this. And for you, those risks of that other medication are
That's right.
higher.
Right.
So, okay. What would you tell others taking prednisone to expect as far as side effects?
Well, one of the things that I found in taking high doses, the low doses are not as, but the high doses interferes with your anger management. It makes you very hyper and everything bothers you. So that's the first thing that you need to tell your partner is that if I get angry with you, it's not you, it's the tablets. So I found that out very quickly.
That is some good advice.
Yeah, because I got angry a lot and I don't usually get angry. So I knew that that's not part of my personality. So my wife knew that, you know, if you're taking the high doses, you're going to get, I may react to something that I don't normally react to. And then, so that's how we were able to manage it a little bit. Because I get, with high doses of prednisone, you get high anxiety. And so it makes you mad at little things that you don't really get mad at. So that's one thing you need to learn, because if you don't know it, you'll be reacting to stuff, and people could get in your way. But it has nothing to do with who you are, right? It has to do with the prednisone. So I read that, and then it happened. So, you know, I was getting that way. But with lower doses, it takes away that edge, right? Like sometimes I'll go to the pharmacy to pick up something, and nobody's paying attention to me. Normally, I just wait there and wait and wait and wait. If I go there and I have high dose of benefit, I say, somebody's going to look after me now. Like, what's going on here? Like, what is somebody coming? Who's working here? Like, you know, I'll get that kind of agitated.
Yeah.
So you know, that kind of thing will happen because I'm anxious, right? I want to get out of there, like, you know. But normally, you know, I will keep it down. I'll just wait, and maybe they're just working. I'll just say they're just working. They're just doing their thing. But sometimes they're ignoring you too. You don't know.
It's true. And you never know. I have lots of friends who work in the pharmacy, and it's really hard right now. They're understaffed and
Yeah,
overworked, and
yeah. And they're not
especially
hiring
with
enough
COVID
people.
vaccines and
Yeah,
everything, it's
yeah.
hard to be a pharmacist. So it like you're justified in being upset at how long it's taking. Unfortunately, you should be just upset at the people who are running the company, not the pharmacists.
I know.
You know,
Right.
because they're the ones not willing to pay enough staff,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so that's the one thing that I found that was a little bit of problem. That sleep also was an issue, but I found that uh, taking your tablets, I got 4 bottles from you, and that helped a bit in the early stages because I was taking high dosages. So that helped me sleep because it is. The other thing is that you become ravenous for food. So I had to do, and because it was COVID, it's COVID still, but the gyms are open, but at that particular time I couldn't go to the gym. So walking was the only other exercise, and cycling to get the weight down, because any bit of food I see, I wanted to eat it. So, but now with the diabetes, I have to worry about the sugar. So
prednisone has given you diabetes, is that right?
yes.
And
Type 2.
Type 2 diabetes from all those high blood sugars.
Mm-hmm.
And then prednisone is also giving you a complication on your eyes that you're having to deal with today. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, basically, prednisone leads to type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes leads to cataracts. The cataracts were probably forming there before with all my different visits to the doctors. And so luckily she found out that I needed to see a specialist. And now I saw a specialist. So now today, 2:35, I'm going to be seeing a doctor who will be doing the left eye first and then the right eye. Because right now I cannot see, I can drive, but I cannot see the television to read the stuff on the screen sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I know that there's blurred, like I have blurred vision and stuff like that. I know that. So it's timely.
Yeah. That's awful that prednisone has taken so much from you, that you have diabetes now, you have cataracts, but luckily there is cataract surgery.
It's not too bad. It's not cancer.
It's not cancer. It's not cancer. And like, you can do something about it. What I love what you just said is that you had been followed by a doctor for your eyes. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't even know that they should be seeing an eye doctor.
Well, we see eye doctors in Canada every year. We get checkups every year. It's covered by the government, so we go and we get it. If you're over a certain age, it's paid for free. But right now, the opticians are fighting with the government because they're not paying them enough money for a visit. So people are not getting, and you can't pay it privately to get it done either. Because these are under OHIP, right? So the OHIP pays for you to go. So you can't give the doctor money directly. They can't accept it because it's against the law.
That's a tough spot.
So look, pretty soon, as soon as that border opens, there are a lot of people coming down to get their eye tested in the States.
Wow. That never even occurred to me as the reason people would cross the border.
Well, yeah, they'll cross the border just to get an eye test.
Just to get an eye test. Wow. Well, I have a good friend. He's an optometrist, so he would be a great option.
There'll be a big exodus of people going over there. Let's drive on to Buffalo. Like, you can have a nice little eye test and come back. Yeah.
Oh, so you mentioned that you felt ravenous when you were on prednisone. So I'd love to know, what was your go-to snack that you would eat when you got the munchies while on prednisone?
Well, I'm not a snacker. I'm an eater. Like, I don't like snacks. I like good food.
So what was the good food?
If it was a snack, what my wife has in the house, because she likes chocolate and she likes chips and all that kind of stuff. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't go for that. If she's eating it, I eat it too, but it's not something I do. I like to have just good food.
So what was the good food you went for when you were on high dose prednisone?
Oh, a lot of pasta.
What was that?
Pasta.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How do you like your
Right now,
pasta?
it's not good for you. So pasta is not good for me right now. Not with the with. So it's not, but I like it, and I like seafood.
Seafood and pasta.
I don't like red meat too much. So I eat a lot of red, a lot of fish, chicken, and seafood pasta.
Yum.
Yeah, I like that.
That sounds amazing. All right. Well, Jeremy, this has been so helpful. I have one last question for you.
Okay.
What is your best advice for other prednisone warriors?
Well, my best advice would be if you're on prednisone to make sure that you don't overeat. You have to have a limit on that because it's have a tendency to make you hungry a lot. And watch your relationships with people, because what's happening to you on prednisone, it should not be taken out on others. Okay, because your relationship could suffer. And I think that would be important advice for people who. Also, the other thing I would say is to make sure you find a good doctor to deal with. If it is an oral thing you have to do, because everybody goes on prednisone for different reasons. But if it's an oral thing, you need an oral pathologist. As a matter of fact, I never heard of an oral pathologist until I got Pemphigus Vulgaris. I never heard about it. It's my doctor who suggested an oral pathologist, and I said, "Who is that?" She knew about it because her father is a dentist. So she knows a lot about the dentistry and that stuff. But most doctors won't have a clue about oral pathologists. It's a different study. There's only like 2 people in Canada who have it. 2 people in our country. One in Vancouver and one in Ontario, and I see that one.
Wow.
They're just not too many of them.
When you mentioned
because it's a different, you have to study above the grade of orthodontist, I guess, maybe.
Gotcha.
It's like a different study altogether.
Yeah, I've never heard of one either.
Yeah, well, you learn that now.
Yes.
I hope you never have to go to one.
That is one of my favorite things about interviewing prednisone warriors is I learned so much about what it feels like to take prednisone for other reasons. Because I had to take it for ITP, but I only read Pemphigus Vulgaris in a book. I never actually.
Oh, you saw it in a book?
Yeah. I never heard from somebody what it really feels like. So this is fascinating to learn all of these things.
Yes.
So
you always come to us very honest, and I think that's why you and I hooked up. As like the information you give is like honest information. It's not like, oh, I'm just trying to sell this product. It's like more like, I'm giving you this information. You can decide what you want to do. And you always come across as a very honest person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That is really important to me.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. And I think that's why people are drawn to, maybe, talking to you about stuff and all kind of stuff. And all the different things that we had to go through was not a problem. But it wasn't an issue. Because I knew you were honest in what you were saying to me. My kid has to go, yeah, I got my computer problem here. Like, I knew you were experiencing all those things. Like, it wasn't like you were lying to me or anything. It was just this is life.
Yes. Yeah.
This is life. And things happen, right?
I think we've rescheduled 3 times. So thank you for your patience, because I am a mom and I had my computer crash, and it's been a roller coaster of crazy things. But I'm so glad we could catch you before you had to go in for your surgery and not be able to use technology anymore. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this before you're put out of commission for a little while.
Yeah, I'll be out for a commission for a while. I can't use my laptop. I can't use my iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be a little bit of a challenge.
A challenge, a time off. It'll be interesting.
It'll be time off. Yeah, time off, downtime.
Downtime, exactly.
Watch the birds.
With the one eye that's working well, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You're
Signing
welcome.
off as
Thank
Dr.
you.
Megan, your
Yeah.
prednisone pharmacist. And I'm
Thank
here
you.
to, like Jeremy said, to help you not just survive prednisone, but thrive while on prednisone. And so if you have a story to share, like Jeremy's, please let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about your prednisone warrior story.